We are taught to spot the monsters. We are taught that dangerous people are loud, aggressive, and self-absorbed. We are told to watch out for the narcissist, the person who needs to be the center of attention, the one who demands validation, the one who sucks the air out of the room. Because the narcissist is loud, you can see them coming. You can put your guard up. But what if the most dangerous person in the room isn't the one shouting? What if it's the one listening? What if it's the person who understands you better than anyone else? The one who knows exactly what to say to make you feel safe? The one who knows your childhood traumas, your deepest insecurities, and your secret fears because they asked and you told them? And then, they used it against you. Psychology has a name for this personality type. They are not the classic narcissist. They are something far more complex and far more insidious. They are called Dark Empaths. And the reason they are more dangerous than a narcissist is simple. You don't see them as a threat until the damage is already done. You don't build a wall against them. You open the door for them. Today we are going to dissect the anatomy of a Dark Empath. We will explain the terrifying science of how someone can possess high empathy but still be evil, the subtle signs that you are dealing with one, and why, if you aren't careful, they can dismantle your sanity without ever raising their voice. To understand a Dark Empath, we first have to break a myth. Most people believe that empathy and darkness are opposites. We think that if someone is empathetic, if they can understand feelings, they must be a good person. We assume that psychopaths and narcissists have zero empathy. That is scientifically incorrect. And that misunderstanding is exactly where the Dark Empath hides. Psychology divides empathy into 3 distinct categories. This distinction is crucial. First, there is emotional empathy. This is what you likely have. When you see someone crying, you feel sad. When you see someone get hurt, you wince. Your mirror neurons fire. You feel their pain. This is the biological brake system that stops us from hurting others. Second, there is compassionate empathy. This is the drive to help. You see someone suffering and you are motivated to fix it. But then there is the third kind, cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy is data. It is the intellectual ability to know what someone is feeling without actually feeling it yourself. It's like reading a map of someone's mind. You know that if you say X, they will feel Y. You understand their triggers. You understand their sorrow. But you are observing it from behind a glass wall. A Dark Empath scores incredibly high on cognitive empathy. They can read you like a book. They know exactly why you are upset. They can predict your reactions with terrifying accuracy. But they score low, or 0, on emotional empathy. They see your pain. They understand your pain. But they don't feel your pain. This combination is weaponized psychology. Think about it. A torture specialist needs to know exactly where your nerves are to inflict the most pain. A spy needs to know exactly what motivates you to manipulate you into treason. They need empathy to destroy you. The Dark Empath possesses the dark triad traits, narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, but they wrap it in a warm blanket of understanding. They are the wolf in sheep's clothing, but the sheep's clothing is tailored perfectly to fit your specific emotional needs. How do they get in? How do they trap you? A classic narcissist traps you with grandiosity. They impress you. They buy you things. They tell you they are the best thing that ever happened to you. It's a performance. A Dark Empath traps you with validation. In the beginning of a relationship, whether it's romantic, friendship, or professional, the Dark Empath doesn't talk about themselves. They talk about you. They ask questions. Deep questions. They seem fascinated by the inner workings of your mind. You will find yourself saying things like, "I've never felt so understood before," or, "It's like we have a telepathic connection." This is not a connection. This is data mining. They are building a dossier. They are collecting your secrets, your shame, your past failures, and your triggers. They are mapping out your emotional buttons so they can press them later. While a narcissist wants you to admire them, a Dark Empath wants you to depend on them. They want to be your therapist, your savior, your only safe harbor. They position themselves as the only person who get it. This phase is dangerous because it lowers your defenses completely. You hand them the blueprints to your destruction, thinking you are building intimacy. You aren't. You are arming your enemy. Once they have your trust, the dynamic shifts. But it shifts slowly. A classic narcissist is like a blunt instrument. If they are angry, they rage. They insult you. They are a bull in a china shop. It's painful, but it's obvious. You can say, "Wow, that person is a jerk." The Dark Empath is a sniper. They don't scream. They don't name call. Instead, they use surgical strikes. Because they have high cognitive empathy, they know exactly what to say to hurt you the most, while appearing to be concerned. They use a tactic called concern trolling. They might say something like, "I noticed you've been eating a lot lately. I'm just worried about your health because I know how much your self-image struggles when you gain weight. I just want you to be happy." On the surface, it looks like empathy. They are using I statements. They are expressing concern. But underneath, they are deliberately triggering your insecurity about your weight, which they know is a sore spot because you told them. If you get angry, they flip the script instantly. "Why are you attacking me? I was just trying to support you. You know I'm the only one who cares about this stuff." Now, not only are you hurt, but you also feel guilty for being hurt. That is the Dark Empath's signature move, weaponized guilt. They are masters of the vulnerability hangover. After you share something deep and painful with them, they will subtly bring it up in public or in an argument days later. Just enough to make you feel exposed, just enough to remind you that they hold your secrets. They use humor as a blade. Sarcasm and just joking are their favorite shields. They will humiliate you in front of friends with a joke that hits too close to home. When you react, they use their empathy to calibrate the room and make you look like the crazy one for not taking a joke. With a narcissist, you feel exhausted. With a dark empath, you feel crazy. You feel like you are losing your grip on reality because the person hurting you is also the person comforting you. Let's visualize the difference to make this concrete. Imagine you are at a party. The narcissist is the one dancing on the table, telling loud stories, interrupting people, and getting angry if the music isn't what they want. If you ignore them, they throw a tantrum. They are dangerous because of their volatility. The dark empath is the one sitting in the corner with you. They are making fun of the narcissist on the table. They are whispering to you, "Look how desperate he is. I'm so glad you and I aren't like that." They make you feel special. But then they whisper something else. They tell you a rumor about your best friend across the room. They plant a seed of doubt about your partner. They manipulate the social board like a chess game, turning people against each other, all while remaining the neutral observer. The narcissist destroys relationships with explosions. The dark empath destroys relationships with rot. They isolate you not by forbidding you to see people, but by convincing you that no one else understands you. The narcissist has an ego that needs to be fed. The dark empath has a God complex that needs to be satisfied. They don't need your applause. They need your submission. So, how do you spot someone who is designed to blend in? How do you detect a predator who wears the mask of a friend? It is difficult, but there are glitches in the matrix. Sign number 1, the uncanny valley effect. Do you know that feeling when you look at a realistic robot and it looks human but something is just off? That is the uncanny valley. You will feel this with a dark empath. Their emotions often feel rehearsed. They might smile a split second too late. Their eyes might remain cold while their mouth is laughing. Your gut will tell you, this person is performing, not feeling. Listen to that instinct. Sign number 2, the just kidding defense. Pay attention to how they handle conflict. A dark empath loves to say cruel things and then retreat behind, "I was just joking," or "You're too sensitive." If someone constantly hurts you but frames it as helping or joking, that is cognitive empathy without compassion. Sign number 3, gossip as currency. Dark empaths love to collect information. Watch how they talk about others to you. Do they psychoanalyze everyone? Do they tell you other people's deep secrets? If they are sharing someone else's trauma with you to build a bond, they are 100% doing the same thing with your trauma to someone else. Sign number 4, the victim card. Despite their manipulation, dark empaths often paint themselves as the victim. But unlike the narcissist who claims to be a victim of jealousy, the dark empath claims to be a victim of their own kindness. "I just care too much," or "I take on everyone's burdens." They weaponize their empathy to make you feel like you owe them. If you realize you are dealing with a dark empath, you need to change your strategy immediately. You cannot love them into being a better person. You cannot explain to them that they are hurting you. Remember, they already know. They know it hurts. That's why they are doing it. Step 1, stop the data flow. Stop sharing your inner world. Stop telling them your fears. Stop confessing your insecurities. Become a gray rock. Be boring. Be vague. Without new data, their cognitive empathy loses its ammunition. Step 2, trust actions, not vibes. Dark empaths survive on vibes and words. They are charming. Ignore the charm. Look at the cold, hard facts of your life since they entered it. Do you feel more anxious? Are you isolated from friends? Do you feel worse about yourself? The outcome is the truth. The intention is a lie. Step 3, boundaries, not explanations. When you set a boundary, do not explain why. Dark empaths love explanations because they can argue with them. Just say no. When they try to guilt trip you, recognize it as a tactic, not a reality. The world is not just divided into good empaths and bad narcissists. There is a gray area, a shadow zone where understanding is used as a weapon. The Dark Empath teaches us a painful but necessary lesson. Just because someone understands you doesn't mean they want the best for you. True empathy isn't just knowing how someone feels. It is respecting those feelings. It is using that understanding to heal, not to control. If you found this video helpful, or if you recognize someone in this description, you are not crazy. You were just outplayed by a master manipulator. But now you have the playbook. Subscribe for more dives into the psychology of the human mind, and remember, watch the quiet ones. Thank you for watching.